Hello, welcome to Dave's Auto. Today I'll be working on a 2016 Hyundai Sonata with a 2.4 liter engine in it. It's a 2.4 GDI. Um, so we're having problem with the engine. The engine has performance issues. The check engine light is flashing on the dashboard, and the engine lacks power. So the first thing I did was I put my scanner on there, and I'm having a code stored in the system. And the code is, I believe it's P001000, and it says the intake camshaft actuator circuit malfunction. Intake camshaft actuator circuit malfunction. And I believe there's a TSB on that particular code. It has something to do with the oil seal or the oil plug um, in front of the intake cam sprocket. If the plug is not seated properly, it will throw that code, or if the seal is leaking, you will have that problem as well. So that is what we're going to be working on today. I already got the parts from the dealership, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and replace the cap, the sprocket cap or the cover on the intake side. It comes with a sensor right here, and as well as the seals inside. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So the first thing is you want to go ahead and remove your coolant reservoir right here. It's held by two 10 millimeter bolts. One is right here, and the other one is over here. I already loosened it up, so let me go ahead and take that out. Two bolts, 10 millimeter, two bolts. Put it on the side, and then you can move the coolant reservoir away and put it on the side. Okay. So the next step is to remove the motor mount right here. Now, before you remove the motor mount, you want to make sure that you secure your engine. The engine is secured before you remove the motor mounts. Otherwise, the engine is going to drop down, and you don't want that because you might mess up some things. So what I did was I put a floor jack underneath the oil pan, but I put a block of wood on top of the floor jack just to make sure that I don't dent the oil pan. So underneath the oil pan, or underneath the bottom of the engine, is a floor jack sitting on a block of wood, just to make sure the engine is resting on the jack. All right, so you got a couple of nuts and bolts holding the motor mount. You got, it's a 17 millimeter, two nuts over here. You have a bolt. There's a bolt right here. There's another bolt over here, and then you got two more bolts over here. I took everything one piece. That way I don't have to separate the bracket from the mount itself. It's easier that way. Okay, as you can see, it's already loosened. So let me just go ahead and pull it off. So it's two nuts. There's a bolt. You put it on the side so you don't get confused. There's another 17 millimeter over here. It will be a little bit tight because, okay, put it on the side. There's another one here. Put it on the side, and two more. Okay, so now I can just go ahead and remove the whole motor mount in one piece. Okay, right here. I could just lay it on the side. Okay. So now we can go ahead and unplug the sensor, go into the cap or the cover. So just press on it and pull up and lay it on the side. the next thing I'm gonna do is remove that bracket for the motor mount. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the bracket. It's 14 millimeter bolts. It's a whole bunch of them over there. So, and as you can see, it's already loosened. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just be taking the bolts out. So that's one right here. You got another one right there. You got one right here. It's tucked in there. You got to be careful. You got another one right there at the bottom, right here. There's another one over here, and then there's a 12 millimeter bolt on this side over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove all of that. Just pay attention because the bolts are different, so you want to make sure that you you know where they go, so you don't miss them. You don't want to mix the bolts together, because then you're gonna have a problem. All right. Okay, so now we can put this bracket to the side. Put it out of our way. Okay, so now we can see over here, this is the cover. All right, that's one of the seals, and then the other seal is inside. So we'll just go ahead and remove this seal right here. Just pry it like that. Okay, gently just remove it. Put it on the side. I'm gonna replace that anyway. I got a new one from the dealer. Now you're gonna have to get some rags, because you might, have oil coming out. So get towels or rags just to make sure you clean up whatever comes out. Okay, now the next thing is to remove this cover right here. All right, and you got 4 10 millimeter bolts. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I already loosened it, so just go ahead and take the bolts out. Lay to the side. Okay, now before you pull the cover off, you want to make sure, like I said, you got a rag or towels, because definitely you're gonna have oil leaking out. So just make sure you're ready for that. All right, so you can gently pry it open, wedge it against it, and just pry it open. I already did that, so you can just gently remove it, and there you go. Now this is what I noticed. I noticed that if you look over here, you can see that the seal is broken, right? There is a seal around here that's supposed to stop oil from leaking. If you look on this side, the seal is broken, so that is definitely what is causing the oil to be leaking. So that's not good. All right, the next thing is there's the seal, this is the main seal I was talking about. That's supposed to stop the oil from leaking from the cam sprocket. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that seal as well. So let's pull that seal out. Okay, make sure you do it gently. Yeah, you can just get it out. Okay, so that seal is out. All right. All right. So this is the new one that I got from the dealership. This is the part number over there, and this is the new assembly. I also noticed that the sensor has these two metal pieces coming out. It's all the way up, but mine is worn. If you look at it, one is actually worn, one is shorter than the other, so, and it's really loose. So that explains why I was having all that problem. So I'm pretty sure once everything is done, we're going to be good to go. Okay, so that's the cap right there. This is the other one. Okay, that's the part number over there for the last seal behind, right behind the cap, right? And then this right here is that's the part number for the little seal that goes in the middle of the cam sprocket, or the plug they call it. Okay, so that's it right there. So this is how it looks like. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and make sure it's nice and clean. Just clean it up. And then we can put like so. Can put it over there, and then put the bolts in. Yeah, you always want to start by hand first before you can put any ratchet on it, just to make sure your threads are good, because you don't want to strip anything. Okay. I'm gonna make sure you got it nice and tight. Okay, so this is nice and tight. All right, next thing we're gonna do is to put the seal, this seal on there. Right now, according to the TSB, once you put this seal in there, there is a special tool that you need that you're supposed to use to push the seal to seat, properly. All right, and if you can get that, just go ahead and get that. But this is what I used. I used a 1/2 inch socket, which is the same size as the seal, to kind of push it. That's what I'm going to use to push it in there. Now what you need to do is you want to make sure that you mark 19 millimeter. That is the depth of that's how far the seal is supposed to go, right? So you need some type of measuring instrument to measure from here, right, from here over there, somewhere it has to be 19 millimeter measurement. So once you pull, you push the seal inside, then once it reaches the 19 millimeter, then you know that the seal is fully seated. So once you measure your 19 millimeter, get a tape, right, and put a tape around it. Once you tape it up, whatever is left, whatever distance that is left here is going to be your 19 millimeter distance, or the depth of it. So once you push the seal inside and it reaches where the tape is, then it won't move, or it can't go any longer. Then you're done. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and measure my 19 millimeter, put a tape around it, put the seal in there, push it all the way, and then once I'm done, I'll plug it up, put the bracket, the motor mount bracket over here, like I removed it, and put everything else back together as I removed it. So after I'm done, I'll just go ahead and reset the check engine light, and we should be good to go. All right, well, don't forget to share, subscribe, and also like, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.